Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors, the right choice, voted best in the Tri-State 2024.
From Patriot Federal Credit Union, we have Mark McCoy, and you are the Chief Revenue Officer.
I am.
What does that mean?
It's a good question. Titles can be vague, right? So revenue for us and for lending at Patriot is all of our lending teams. So auto lending, consumer lending, personal lending, home equity, mortgage, business, and working with our dealers, folks that go to dealers directly to get financing, and then our payment and delivery channels. So our card products, our ATMs, online, mobile banking. So those places you kind of intersect with us that's not in a branch and folks are looking to borrow money or move money lives in the revenue function of our organization.
Well, what do you think is the most rewarding part of your job?
So for me, I'm fairly new, I apologize, fairly new to the organization. I just made the move back from the Midwest in June, Pennsylvania native. And for me, it's really taking a good look at what we do, how we do, the markets we're in, the markets we serve, who our members are, prospective members, and what that's gonna look like. We're continuing to kind of evolve our footprint and our brand. We're expanding into West Virginia next year as well.
Exciting.
Yeah, so the nice part about a community credit union, we're only in 6 counties, 1 in Pennsylvania, 2 in Maryland, 3 in West Virginia for our charter area. And taking a good look at what we do and how we do it and who's on the team and how do we meet people where they are and do what they need us to do in a way that's best for them.
Mm-hmm.
Describe, we've heard this term a lot in I'll call it the backstage portion of things, but lending and delivery channels, can you explain that to us and take us through what that means as far as you're concerned in your position?
Sure. For me in my position, I'm really looking at high level, do we have what folks need us to have as an organization, right? So as a credit union, we're not shareholder driven, we're not publicly traded, we're really there to service the folks that we interact with in our charter area on a daily basis, whether prospective member or new member, and making sure we've got the right services and products to meet their needs when and where they need them, right? You in financial services, you work with all range, folks in high school setting up their first checking account to folks that are saying, look, I need to downsize, and everything in between as things evolve. So for me, it's making sure that we're well equipped to do those things, to do it expeditiously and efficiently, right? Because when it comes to money, it's never quite the right time for whatever you're going to do at any given point. So,
and
then when something comes up, right? Planning is there and ideal, but it doesn't always happen that way. So you want somebody that can meet your needs. So one's really kind of looking at that and making sure that we're ready to do those things for our members, and then making sure that we've got the technical expertise to provide good guidance, good support, move things along through the process, and in turn matching the electronic services, the lending, and our relationships with the rest of the organization, right? Mm-hmm. Because the member doesn't just meet us when they need a loan or when they're going through a digital channel. They walk into the branches, they come through our contact center, they meet someone at an event, right? And then where do we get folks to where they need to be?
Right, exactly. So what would you say is the vision for ensuring that Patriot continues to meet the financial needs of its members?
I think you really got to understand what your membership is, right? So Franklin County, Pennsylvania looks different from Frederick County, Maryland, looks really different from the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia. And those are all markets we've made conscious decisions to be in, right? We're rooted in and historically from Franklin County, Pennsylvania, but that has kind of expanded out for us. So really taking a good look and understanding those members, right? What are the community needs? What's happening in them? What are the trends, right? DC looks different from Maryland, looks different from South Central Pennsylvania, and understanding that that's the case and how do we get there with them. And those things are evolving, right? Post-COVID, pre-COVID, things have shifted and evolved. How people live, how they commute, what they do for a living, the way they get to work. Is it electronic? Is it in person? What do they need out of their housing stock? What are we seeing for housing prices, right? So lots of kind of those rhetorical, thought-driven questions to making sure that we're making good on our promise to be there for our membership, and in turn having those product, services, team members there to help folks guide through it.
So it sounds like you really do your research on the community and what they need and how you can really meet them where they are, and that's amazing.
Yeah, we do the best we can, right? And when I was moving, so I grew up in Blair County, Pennsylvania, further northwest of here. And there's so much you can know from demographics, right? You can tell you what a population is and who lives there and all those types of things. But given the lineage, the time, and our charter, we've got folks that live and work in the market and have been here for a long time or have come to the market for different reasons and life has led them to different places. So it's not just the black and white of the paper or the facts or the statistics, but getting good guidance from our members, right? We're a credit union, financial cooperative mindset. We want to be able to help cure for those, and the credit union structure allows us to do that, but we get the same feedback from our team members every day, the folks we work with, the folks we interact with.
I think the beauty in this is that you mentioned about we're not Baltimore, we're not DC, and that's a wonderful thing in that that's not a negative to say, oh well, they're not Baltimore and DC. What that means, at least to me, is in Baltimore and DC, these financial transactions are just that, very transactional. I show up, I do whatever exchange, whatever deposit, here we go, thank you very much, have a great day. Whereas with Patriot Federal Credit Union, it is the personable, it is you get to know the person's name, they get to know yours, and it's that community driven because, like you said, and I speak because I am a member at Patriot. I'm a member. I'm not just, it's not just a bank that I use.
Yep.
You know, my name is on the list of just like everyone else who is basically a shareholder, as you described it. And I think it's a very important distinction to make.
I think you're 100% right. And Patriot specifically, credit unions, I guess more generally, offer that allowance, right? And there's a lid for every pot, right? Different types of financials for different folks and different markets.
Glad you said
That is such a tiny comment.
I have said that to Katie no less than 10 times in the last couple months.
Yes, yesterday you actually said that exact
And aside,
sentence.
yes, and aside from my Grams, who's 85 years old this year, I have.
For every pot.
She's the one who I first heard say that, and I've never heard anybody else say that. So you're welcome anytime on Let's Talk Tri-State.
As soon as you said that, I thought, oh, here he goes, here he goes.
I don't even care where we were. I'm just glad you said that. How's your Thanksgiving looking? You want some eggnog? It's great. I've even got a little moose glass if you want, like Christmas vacation.
I'll be in good shape, right?
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and understanding, right, those members and the markets. I grew up in Pennsylvania, right? I had the good fortune to spend time in the Chicago area, further into the Midwest and Iowa, the New York City area, the Philadelphia area. So I've gotten to see a lot of different things. I get to come back to central Pennsylvania where there's a lot of draw to things around you, but right, I'm rooted here from a long time ago with my parents. It's my first time back living in a long time, right? You got back to visit occasionally, except for, COVID and all that good stuff. But, there is that, I think, fundamental understanding for me of what I was getting when I came back and what that offered to me. And people, right, root here for different reasons.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you coming in today, Mark. We really
So do
appreciate
I.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you were a lot of fun. And where in Pennsylvania did you say you were from originally?
I grew up in Tyrone, so like the Altoona State College area.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, welcome back to the area.
Thank you. Excited to be back.
We're happy to have you.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.